Hey, it's Wentao. Welcome back to my channel. So back in 2022, when I had my first birthday in Canada, I just turned 26. And some of my classmates who were 18, 19, they just joke like, man, you're almost 30. So I laughed and I said, nah, I'm still in my mid-20s. And now, let's just say I'm running out of time to say that. Time really moved fast. So today I want to share 5 things that I wish I started earlier in my 20s. Things that could have saved me a lot of time, stress, and overthinking. Let's get into it. The first thing I wish I started earlier was taking action instead of waiting to feel ready. In my early 20s, I often thought, well, maybe I need to improve a little bit more first. For example, with my photography, my friends would tell me many times like, man, you should start charging for this. You should try shooting at events or nightclubs. But I kept holding back. I was thinking, I was not good enough yet. Wait, what if I mess it up? And eventually I gave it a try. I took my first nightclub gig, and once I started, I just realized that, well, my skills were pretty good. And the real experience also helped me to improve fast. And the fear that I had before, it just disappeared completely. So if I had jumped into that ship sooner, I could have just built that confidence much earlier. The second thing I wish I started earlier was getting serious about my long-term path sooner. Well, when I finished university at 22, I had the option to apply for Canada like right away. But back then I kept thinking, well, there's no rush. I'm still young, I still have time. And so I spent a couple of years trying different things like marketing, tutoring, random short-term jobs, just to explore. And before I realized, 2 years were already gone. So if I had to make that move earlier, I could have saved a lot of time. I could have started my career sooner and just let the momentum build earlier. It's kind of like investing, you know? Like the sooner you start, the more everything just compounds later. Now, the third thing I wish I started earlier was building a proper system instead of just hustling. When I first moved here, I went straight into hustle mode. Like I had studying full-time, working part-time, and I had side projects. I was trying to handle everything at once. And at that time I thought, well, as long as I work hard, I'll make it through. I'll figure it out. I scheduled crazy days, like I would study 8 hours and then work 4 hours, plus I'll do everything else. And well, that didn't survive that long. And eventually I just burned out. Even the smallest task was starting to feel like overwhelming. That's when I realized that it was not gonna work. So I spent quite a bit of time and I finally built a system that I actually worked for myself. So I would put my hardest task like learning French the first thing in the morning when I have the most energy. And for the easier stuff like photo editing, I would just leave it for later of the day. And I use a simple habit tracker. It's called TickTick. That's the one that I'm using. Even if I only study for 10 minutes, I would still check that off. Some days I do more, some days I do less, but I don't let that one bad day just completely throw me off. You know, it's like playing tennis. You don't have to hit winners every point. You just have to stay in the rally. If I had done this earlier, I would have saved myself a lot of unnecessary stress. The fourth thing I wish I started earlier was learning how to handle small failures better. So in May 2021, I had my first co-op interview. So a co-op is like an internship. So basically they asked me to explain a very simple for loop using JavaScript. I mean, technically I knew it. I just misunderstood how they asked and well, I completely froze. So in that moment, it felt like a huge failure. I was so frustrated. I just started to doubt everything. Like, did I choose the wrong field? Am I even good for this? But honestly, it wasn't about my ability. I just didn't have enough interview experience yet. So I kept practicing, and a little while later, I passed my very next interview and landed my first job in tech. So now I've realized those small failures will feel huge when you're inside them, but they don't mean that you're not capable. So these days when I mess things up, I just tell myself, alright, cool, just add one more story to the folder and keep moving. And now the fifth and the last thing I wish I started earlier was stacking new skills sooner. During my first year here, I focused a lot on improving my English, which was important, but honestly, my English was already good for work and daily life. What I wish is that I started learning French sooner instead of waiting. So once I added French, it opened up a lot more doors, like more job opportunities, a bigger social circle, and some of my favorite memories like visiting friends, meeting people through language exchange, or just building friendship that would have never happened. So yeah, the earlier you start stacking skills, the more options just show up later. And honestly, it also makes life way more interesting. So yeah, those are the 5 things I wish I started earlier in my 20s. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe, and more videos like this are coming up soon. I'll see you guys in the next one.